Hi people, today we're going to be talking about this book by Zoraida Córdova. It's Incendiary, and I have to say I completely love this one. It's the second time that I read this one because when I was reading it the first time I just stopped and changed books, and now I decided to begin it anew, and so I have to say that I did love this one so much, and I think I had to wait to read it now because now it's when I was really prepared for what I was going to find inside this book. And I'm so grateful that I got to read it when it will affect me more and when I will enjoy this book a lot more. There's lots of things going on in this book, and in this second time reading it, I came to realize that it's going to talk about identities, about the borderlines that separate people, and also about colonization, about how imperialism destroys other cultures and absorbs them into this homogeneous mass, just to say it in some way. And I love that books like this make you think about these things that make us human. We are all there's this moment in the book in which it said something like we are all made of meat, bones, sinew, veins, and we are all human. But I think that despite of globalization, we have to understand that each one of us is different from the other, and that we don't have to fear that which is different, because here we are going to have lots of that with all the people that have magic and the people that don't have magic, and see the ones that have magic as monsters, And this book, it really changes the scope in which you see things. And I like that we have these brave own voices, BIPOC authors out there that show us the world as they feel it, as they try to communicate with us. And I love that thanks to all these authors and the books that they have created, that I am a bit more aware of the differences and how badly white supremacy, stings. And yeah, that's true. And going back to the book, we are going to be following our main character. It's a girl called Renata, and she has this ability. She's a Robari. I love all the magic system that Zoraida Córdova has created in this book. Robari have their name imply Robari from Robar. They have the ability of stealing memories from other people just by touching them, and the memories that they stole are forgotten by the recipients, the original recipients, and they absorb those memories inside themselves. And the idea of the Robari is amazing. I'm not going to talk very much about the book. I don't want to give any spoilers, but I do love what she has created with the Robari, and how the fact that they absorb so many memories, and sometimes they don't know what memory is theirs, or maybe it's something that they have stolen, and they have this confusion sometimes inside their head, because they absorb all those memories, and they have all those feelings that the original person with the memories felt while they were recording those memories. And I love that Renata here has created like the Grai, that's this box inside her head where she puts what she was before, and it's like she has forgotten when she was a kid. And it's amazing. Yeah, I mean, as I say, I love the magic system that she has created, because the people who have magics, they have all these abilities. You also have illusionaries from illusions that can create illusions, and there is some of them that have the ability of knowing if you're telling the truth, and also of amplifying the feelings that you already have. Maybe you want to hurt them, but you have this small piece of yourself who don't want to hurt them, so they latch into that and make you feel like you don't really want to hurt them. And I love, as I say, I love all the magical systems that she has created. Okay, we are going to have a bad king who is trying to annihilate these people from Moria. The people from Moria is the people who have these magic abilities, and he wants to absorb all the territories where these people live, and he wants to create this amazing, big, horrible empire. For him, it's amazing. For the rest of the people, maybe not so much. And he wants to eradicate the cultures, the religions, and the way of living that the people previously had on those in those places, and he wants to assimilate it into his empire. And we have this movement of resistance who are the rebels, some Moria who are going to try, to stop the king and his ansias de poder. And I love all of that concepts. I love, as I say, that Zoraida makes me think about. I am enjoying myself reading the book, but also it's popping questions in my head about occupation, about taking people off their places. Sadly, it's something that it's still happening nowadays, and it made me aware of of concepts of things that maybe I knew, but having people telling you how it really is, it's quite different from thinking that you know it. And I don't know if I explain myself, but I love that we have this bunch of people who is going to stop or try to stop this bad king and his son. And I don't know what more to say about this book because as I say, I don't want to spoil anything, but we are going to have there's going to be passages in this book that's going to be quite horrible. I mean, when Renata begins to tell you how she came to be inside the palace, how she was used as a weapon, and how she was abused because she was a little kid. She didn't know better, and the people who should have protected her were abusing her and using her as a weapon. And when she got older and she get away from all of that, she still held herself guilty because she allowed herself to be used. And you hate the people that use her and put her in that position, that got the trust of a little girl and use her and her abilities, something that makes her special, something that makes different. Use her to the point where she looks at herself with hate, with sorrow for the things that she did. And there's moments in which this book really, twists you, makes you think, oh my God. Because all the things that she has explained in this book, I think that there are things that has happened, and will happen if humanity doesn't change the way we think. And this is a very powerful book. Also, it's a book of it's all these truths are wrought in a wall of fantasy where we are going to have, as I say, all these people with magics and abilities. And I love that fantasy reflects our real world because maybe it's easier to stomach the things that happen in the real world if you see them through fantasy. So in this book we are going to see, as I say, the forces of the king that want to unify all the territories and the rebels who are going to try to stop him, and they want to defend the way in which they live, their abilities, their magics, because they are things that make them whole and are part of their identity and their culture, and they have a very different story from the one told by the king and the conquerors. And I love that you have the both sides of the coin, and you can guess or you can empathize and you can understand who you want to support in this battle. And I have to say that the characters are amazing. We are going to be following, as I say, Renata and friends of her. But for me, the one who stole the cake was Castian. I'm not going to say much about him. He is the prince. He's the son of that king who wants to unify everything and everyone. And I have to say that I love what Zoraida did with this character, because at the beginning of the book, you meet him and it's like, hate you. And then you begin reading the book and you're like, oh my God, he seems like a nice guy. And then he goes and you're like, what you did, you son of a... And then he does, and it's like, you never know if he is a good guy or a tormented guy, or maybe he is an evil one, or maybe... I love that she keeps you guessing until the very end, and you don't know, you don't know if you want to like him or if you want to hate him. And I think that for me, he was the most amazing character, and I love how she created him, and that you have this duality going on and you don't know, who he is or what he stands for. And that ending, oh my God, that ending, I need the second book. I mean, it's amazing. I love how Renata grows from the very beginning, as I say, when she's trying to fix the things that she did when she was a kid. And I love that we get to see why she did those things, and we get to understand that it was not her fault, that she was being used, and that there's some things that never should be done to kids, and you know what I mean. And I have to say that I'm completely in love with this book, and for me, Zoraida Córdova is one of those authors who I love a lot. I love her books because they offer a lot of representation and inclusivity, not only on the LGBTQ plus community, but also in own voice territory, and it makes you think about, as I say, globalization, colonization, about defending your own identity, your own culture, and I love that she does these kind of things in her books, and that, for me, they are an amazing read, and I always learn something from them. And I also spend hours losing myself in her worlds, and then afterwards, when I close the book, they remain with me, and this is something that I love. So yeah, I recommend her to you. You haven't read anything by her, and if you have and you haven't read this one, yeah, go grab it because it's amazing. Thank you for watching. Bye.